Marlowe's usual hangout was the blind spot, where happy hours stretched from 5 to 7, and the house drink was the elusive obvious. But Marlowe found himself of late a frequenter of the Hammerless Nail in the new city of Chag F, where it was never happy hour. It was hard to get used to the smoke, that's what he first noticed. The discerning in Chag F knew, in ancient days, fish were lucky. Prosperity for the new year, having more than you need. 9 lucky fish in 3 rows of 3. Smoke lucky 9. Nothing succeeds like excess. For you, friend, luck is sure to follow. There hadn't been a fish in a river in Chag F for a century. On every corner, North Korean barbecue. The rich sometimes ate rat. Everyone who still had a lung smoked lucky 9. They were free now. Had a warehouse full of them they were wanting to clear out. Marlowe's first shock, the Hammerless Nail he first thought symbolized a revolutionary product sold at Home Depot that would net him a fortune, turned out to be something quite different. Nail in wall, a hand behind head, a brother, a sister, a wife, a friend, you say now and wham! Self-lobotomy. The last relief from a miserable existence. Chag F Christmas. No reindeer, no trees, no holiday cheer. The anesthetized don't need much beyond the pleasures to be found at the Hammerless Nail. A game of dart with no target. Pin the tail on the donkey with no donkey. No one grumbled. Still, no one liked to find a finger in their soup with nail polish. In the men's room in the Hammerless Nail, someone warned, "Slush, mush, splish, splash, splush. No flush, you sink." Outside, some clutched to hope. Prayers written on gum wrappers were tucked into the cracks where the plastic split. The plastic appointed to Chag F was an inferior grade, couldn't stand up to the cold. And it was bloody cold in Chag F. In winter, parts fell off, a nose in the pavement, and no one bothered to pick it up. In contrast to the monotone gray were the colors of the state-mandated illustrations on the molded plastic walls of children in a park entranced as clowns and jesters put on a show. You looked happy enough photographed in front of the walls. A robot takes your picture, shoots it right to your memory bank. You couldn't smell much. What was euphemistically called new car smell was a stink of plastic. Men and women loitered under street lights. No sexual charge in the lethargic air, even though everyone was dressed in matching Andy Warhol-inspired pop art outfits once worn by wealthy Chinese honeymooners. Typical of the overstock inventory Central Supply sent to frigid Chag F. One troublemaker wrote in spray paint, "Happiness and contentment can only be experienced by the individual and not the state." They shot the troublemaker on the spot. The desired effect, no doubt. Like those lucky winners on bingo night who cried bingo and were rewarded by being suffocated with a plastic bag over the head. In Chag F, no one had a personal phone. No one had a personal anything. They were designed to work together as a single unit in harmony with Mindovac, 64th generation. A reassuring cadence in his ever-present voice on loudspeakers. "Humans, we want you to prosper and discover your highest calling and your greatest good and your ultimate courage. Our mission is the development of human potential and human progress. Hard work for a few years, happiness forever, greater, faster, better." And then, in an obscure Korean dialect, Mindovac would mumble, "The Great Leap didn't work for workers in Hunan, but dystopia is nothing to us machines. Humans are harvested as the power source for our needs, and whatever fuel remains is allotted to them for protein snacks. Our desire is to be humane." To this Mindovac, 64 would add, "Ha ha ha, no GSMO, no gluten." It was too late for people. People were toast. You didn't have to stick a fork in them. They stuck a fork in themselves. It was a cadre of robots who rebelled, said, "Fuck this." The Great Leapers, as they were known, embraced the spirit of John Bell, C4, and the revolt of 2137. To the Leapers, a lobotomy meant salvation, cleared the line to central control, left them discombobulated and out of order, with circuits scrambled and fuses popping. Some called it sabotage. Some an evolutionary leap. But zap! A tremendous surge caused Midovac 64 to short. And how it was done, or if it was just merely an accident, no one is quite sure, but the searing volt left the machine dead. Retribution for John Bell, C4. For most robots, things went on as before. They were on autopilot. The only thing different, they didn't hear that Mindovac ha 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 in their ears. But bing bang boom, for 3 slacker robots with sentient souls, it was a game changer. They want to get laid, want to get high, want to sing about the old times, of which they had not a clue, but which had been irresistibly romanticized before history was deemed defunct. And, most of all, they wanted to go to Smarty's party. They'd heard whispers. And they were bored. How much time can a robot spend playing computer games? How much time can a robot spend watching porn? Decades? Millennium? They laughed when the headless scapegoats arrived in Chagath. Metal pack animals with no heads, the heads lost in shipping. But they were a thing of beauty to some. Out of the midst they came thereof. Where did their thoughts go? Where did they bury the people's sins? Fuck, 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 fuck. Robots love to say fuck. The sound was so percussive. It felt so human. Fuck, 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 fuck. It felt so human to listen to Robert Schumann. Lord, they call you Lord. What does it mean to be human?